Just share it from the podcast page. So
All right.
all right, and all right, and people, if you're with us, thank you for coming. We're going to be starting soon. All right, let's just go ahead and get this shared everywhere. And of course, I have to scroll all the way down to get to. All right. Harish said the season is that Josh is he live from the forest. So he says that there's some Blair Witch action going on out there where you're at. Yeah. Yeah, he is in the forest. He is in fact in the forest.
Yes. I'm being chased.
Yeah, a little. Yeah. Yeah, sounds about right. All right.
Do I need to change? Do I need to change devices?
No, you probably don't need to change devices. Just probably need a little bit of a brighter lighting.
Okay.
So hopefully not by bulls wearing shape if that's the case. Yeah. All right. All right. So we're actually going to. I think we're live on the Twitter page as well. And if so, that means that we're about to get started. Oh. All right. So you know what? We're actually going to go ahead and we are going to get started right now.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it. I just do it. Like Nike swoosh. None of that Reggie Bush, cause I'm top shelf. I ain't got.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I still have a lot of smoke from Matt with the last part of that video. You know what? It was funny at first, but just seeing it week in and week out, I'm especially after this game versus the Texans. Him and I are gonna have to have a nice long talk. Okay, you know what? I almost want to bet like a intro video ending where it's just like, if we lose, we have to keep that on for the whole entire season. But if they lose, then they have to have a video of when Ty catches, a game-winning touchdown versus the Texans. Like, I want it to be something that would just absolutely be awe-inspiring.
You want to get even. I know.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because my God, that's ridiculous. But other than that, guys,
especially when their team is the playoffs too.
Yeah. Y'all need a new outro to the intro. Yes, we do need a new outro to the intro. Yes, Harish, you are absolutely correct. But hey, in the meantime, guys, welcome back on the JAC podcast, courtesy of AFC South Fan Battle. We were just live with them last night. We're glad to have you here tonight. If you are watching through Facebook, Twitter, whatever other social media we're going through, welcome. Hey, make sure that if you see it, you go ahead and you can just type it in the comments. Let us know you're here. Just say what's up. If you want to talk trash because your team is not the Colts, that's fine too. Your team probably is trash. But you know what? We might as well just go ahead and get everything started off on the right foot, starting with the guys. So we're going to have with us this evening, we have the Senor. I'm not going to say senior. I'm going to say the Senor.
It's good, everybody. I'm live from the forest.
Yes, he's foraging right now. He is absolutely foraging at this moment. All right, and then we have with us. I'm going to say I always call him the silent assassin, but man, it's just like I like the vocality more recently. I don't even know vocality is a word, but we're going to go with that. I like the vocality more recently. It's just like he's just dropping hammers, dropping bombs on people, not literally, more figuratively, metaphorically. We have with us Austin Cook, everybody.
Yeah, what's up? I'm Austin.
Nice. Good. Glad to hear it. I'm Chris Jackson. You already knew that. But, guys, we've waited a very, very long time. We've waited about 8 months. 8 months for this to happen. We sat through some boring offseason transactions. We waited through, Titans fans telling us that they're going to be locked in for a division again. We went through the free agent signing period, draft, OTAs, rookie camps, preseason games, but we're finally here. Week 1 is here. Week 1 is here, and I have waited, literally 8 months for it to get here. Well, let's just say 7. Waited 7 months for it to get here, but we're here. How are we feeling? How are we feeling now that week 1 is here?
I'm feeling great. It's been I feel like it took longer to get here than normal, and I don't even know why.
Well, I know what it is. Is that the last game of the season, the last 2 games of the season, made us want to get back to restart it ASAP. That taste in our mouths. Yeah. So yeah, like y'all said, it's been a long time. It seemed like it's been 2 years since we've seen the post play. And what way to start it with the team we got week 1.
Yes, and you know what? This one is it's crazy because it seems like they give us these teams, like these division rivals, more so than anything else. But I see how they did it, because they did it strategically, where we've beaten the Texans repeatedly over the last couple seasons. And yet we're playing them first game of the season, which statistically we haven't won a week 1 in 7, 8 seasons now.
Yeah,
yeah. So you know what? It's crazy that we're back here again. But I think that it's a perfect setup for us to be able to kind of break that curse. But we're gonna get into that a little bit. We're gonna get into that a little bit. But prior to that, two big things, because I know we talked about the 53-man roster on the last podcast, and we also talk about Leonard coming off the pup list.
Yeah.
Now we've seen him practicing, and we see him out there making all types of moves, making all types of plays. And so, do you think there's a possibility he plays week one?
I think it's gonna be hard for them to tell him he's not playing week one.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. You heard who was it? Was it Frank Wright said that it's Leonard, man. It's the maniac. So it's gonna be hard to tell him no after practicing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and he looks good in those practices to say, hey, you know what? We're gonna hold you out to week two.
Yeah. It's gonna be really tough to really tell somebody who for a fact has been training and really just working hard at getting back into shape, getting back into form, that you'll sit this one out, especially against a division rival, because you know how these division rivalries are. I mean, I think one of Leonard's highlights was the interception followed by the stiff arm to, I think, who was it, Will Fuller, a few
That
seasons
was
ago.
Kenny Stills.
Oh, Kenny Stills, yeah. And it was,
well, 2 years ago, was it a goal line fumble he did? QT? 2020?
Yeah. So that was because Deshaun Watson was still playing in that game.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a few seasons ago. But I think that one. But you know what? The Stills pick was that same season. It was the pick followed by the stiff arm.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, the stiff arm into oblivion. So yeah, we so the thing is, we see, like, we know exactly what to expect. But okay, well, hold on. Wait. We're doing comments and commentary at the same time. Ted says, "What's up, fellas? I'm ready for the season already. So are we. It's been a long time. It's been a very, very long time." And then Harish says, "Sneaky NFL, Houston and Jax to start, especially Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Layups to end curses. I hate the NFL." Fair enough.
You're not wrong, Harish. Yeah. You're not a good feeling, but we got to break those curses, man. What way to do it? To break that curse, and then the division is one of the curses. We haven't won it in so many years, so that can be another thing that we break down too, another barrier.
Yep. That's going to be a big thing for us, because you have to start off with this, because if you start off slow with the kind of schedule that we have, you might not be able to recover. I mean, we have, I think, in our first 6 games, we have all of our division opponents, and then on top of that, you got Kansas City, and then I think, who else do we have?
Denver.
Yeah, we have Denver too.
Like you said, the layups. I mean, we got to take care of what's in front of us, and the front of us is the first 2 weeks. Week 3, we got a good opponent.
Yeah. But you know what? And that's the reason why I want to kind of talk about, like, our week 1 matchup versus Houston. Now, this is an opponent that we've seen time and time again. Now, the complexity of the team has kind of changed over the last few seasons. We know that Dave Culley was there last season, but they didn't have Deshaun Watson. So they had Davis, next up Mills, and
Budweiser Nick.
Yeah, that was it was a Corona bottleneck Mills, and it was it's a different team now. The team looks even. I'm going to say has an even crazier complexion, because you have guys like Justin Reed who aren't there anymore. I think they got rid of Ross Blacklock, who honestly, it's just like he wasn't that good. But I mean, now it's just like you can't really. Offhand, I can't really think of how many guys you have on that defense other than, like, Derek Stingley, who they drafted, or Jonathan Greenard, who's a little bit younger but has been kind of making some splashes. But I'm going to say first impressions of this Houston team, Austin. Like, based on what we've seen recently, like, what do you think about this team in terms of, like, where they are as opposed to to the Texans team that we faced last year, or even the Texans team that we faced the year before last?
So like you said, they lost Justin Reed and a few other people. I feel like they're a young team. I don't think they're a great team. I think they'll end the season with a not the best record. But the only difference I think would be they have a little more experience this year than they did last year, other than like the people that drafted Derek Stingley, which I think he's going to be a solid cornerback for them. But that's
Yeah.
just one guy on their defense.
Exactly. And Josh, like what, like I'm going to say in terms of the team, like in terms of how this team looks, how do we view this team to make sure that we're kind of making sure like we say yes, okay, this is what we're dealing with, but then we're also saying, hey, we need to make sure that we're not overlooking them. Like how do you view this Texans team, without trying to say, oh yeah, no, they look like they're going to be trash.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the way they're building their team is kind of like how we did with the 28 draft. They built. We got Nelson and Leonard. We got the pieces that we have now, the cornerstone pieces. I wouldn't say cornerstone pieces now because they're rookies, but they have the potential to be great pieces, like you said with Stingley. They got the Bama guys, John Mechie, Christian Harris. They built. I mean. Jerry Hughes not in the plans. They just needed a veteran guy on defense. But Green was pretty good. We've seen what he can do. And on the offensive side, having is it Nico Collins?
Nico Collins, yep.
Having Nico and having Brandon Cooks, having Brevin Jordan at tight end number 9, the big guy. OJ Howard, and the running back. Their running back they drafted, Pierce. They say the better Pierce, but we don't know that yet. But he's a solid running back. So they're building towards a nice future. I don't know who's gonna be with Lovie Smith. Who knows? I don't want to overlook them because they are a young team. 2018, we were a young team, and we still made it to the playoffs. So I don't want to look over that, but I don't want to say that they're a playoff team yet. We got to see it how they overcome adversity with this young team.
True, and it's also a different look. I want to say for Lovie Smith. Yeah, Lovie Smith is just like he's used to having those teams that have a lot of veterans, that have a lot of guys who are, who are well versed. And it's just like with this team, it's just like, yeah, you have veterans, but you only have veterans really at depth positions.
Right.
So that changes the complexity of your team, because then you're looking at them, you're just like, okay, well, you don't have like really good veterans or good veterans at the starting positions. You have them in places where it's just like you have rookies starting and the veterans are playing maybe like third team.
But I think is Jerry starting? Jerry Hughes starting? I'm not sure.
I believe he is. Yes, I believe he is. Yeah, I think at this point it's just like you bring in Jerry Hughes. Of course, you're going to start him because he actually had like a really, really good career in Buffalo. I mean, I don't know exactly how much tread he has left on the tires now, but he did have a good. I'm gonna say solid. I'm not gonna say like it was great or it was like Hall of Fame worthy, but it was just like he had a really good stint in Buffalo. So I think that's important not to overlook. But we're gonna go to the comments, then gonna go to the next thing because I'm gonna ask you guys a few things. So they said if we start off anything but 2-0, it's time to start thinking about if Frank Reich is the right guy. I mean, yeah, I think this is a pivotal year for Frank. He's gonna really have to prove himself after last season, because I mean, when you vouched for Carson Wentz to come to town, and then we ended up doing 2 games worse than we did the year before, and we pretty much had the same returning cast, I think that definitely speaks volumes to, not just who you bring in, but also your leadership. This is a guy that you spent a first round pick on essentially.
Yeah. And then was it a tweet? Somebody, I forgot, was Zach Kiefer said something about he hadn't really opened the playbook yet. He's going to do it with Matt Ryan. I'm like,
oh yeah, well he said that they hadn't really done anything. Everything that they did was vanilla. It was more so for reps during the preseason. Mm-hmm. So that's why it was like, okay, well that's kind of telling, but still it's just like that's not reassuring because
Right.
now it's just like you're going to have to now go out and show that this offense is going to move the way that we know that they can move, but how do you plan on doing that?
Right. Okay.
Right. And then we have the Texans defense will be tough. They were a solid unit last year, and Nico hasn't really worked out for them, but I think Pierce is preseason hype for now. I mean, I hope Pierce ends up doing well against every team except for us because I drafted him in fantasy. So, I have to feel a certain type of way.
Understood.
I've never drafted first in any of my drafts. So, with that being said, I never got Jonathan Taylor, which I felt robbed. I felt really robbed.
The thing is, in the AFC fan battle, I got Derrick Henry, so I can't wish anything bad on him. So when you guys talk about him averaging 3 yards a carry, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm gonna be mad.
Well, I mean, once he gets up to 120 yards after going for 40, once he gets 120 yards on 40 carries, then you'll be happy.
Yes, that's it. As long as they lose, I'm good. Against us.
And then Matt says, "Let's go to AA." Whatever that means. Oh, let's go Texans. He meant Texans. I'm not sure how you get AA from Texans, but okay. He's like, and then Harish says, I say that about Pierce, but then there was Arian Foster. Okay, don't remind us. Matt Briggs says 0-2 start because he's a hater. And then let's go Texans. All right, definitely gonna not show that. All right.
I think he meant 0-2 for the Texans.
Yeah, 0-2 start for the Texans. Yeah, he's trying to get that pick because he knows that David Giraffe Rig Mills isn't going to do it. He knows how that looks. You ain't even worry about that.
It serves no purpose for them to have a winning season, right? They got all those picks for Watson. They need to lose the season.
Well, no, they got all those picks for Watson, but the thing is, it's just like, I mean, I'm not worried about it because all they're going to do is draft tight ends. the Texans aren't the Texans unless they have at least 7 tight ends on the roster at all times.
Yeah, they got 2 guys now. They're pretty good. I give Brevin Jordan and OJ. OJ haven't been anything yet, but he could potentially be good in this offense with Budweiser neck.
Yeah, I think so. I think Intruler neck is going to be all right for him, but we'll see. But then moving on, keys on offense for the Colts moving into this game. Now, I'm going to say we'll all be able to kind of comment on that, but Austin, I do want to see it's just like, what do you think are going to be the keys on offense to make sure that we don't start off slow?
I think I'm going to pick a player, and I'm going to pick Matt Ryan. It's obvious, he's the quarterback, the leader of the team. But there's a lot of people saying like he don't have the arm strength, or he's going to only throw screens, and he's not what he used to be. And I think he has to step up week 1 and prove those people wrong, and go out and do the things that Frank Wright said that they were going to do because they were holding it back in the preseason.
Okay. All right. And then, Josh, what do you think are going to be the keys on offense?
Well, last year when I was in Houston, we were sluggish in the run game. We started out. He had 30-something rushes for 142. That means he was getting stopped in the backfield a whole lot. So we got to get the run game going, and they open up the rest of the offense. Open up offense for Mo, for Pierce, Granson, even Woods. Of course, Pittman. He's going to be the main guy. But it opened up the offense for Wright to work, do his, because he can barely. Most of our points came out short fields last year in Houston because we got turnovers and we was able to score off those short fields. But this one, we got to get the run games established. I'm not saying force feed him 20 times on the first drive.
Okay.
But get it going. You might have to get Pittman going. You might got to get Pierce going. Once you get them going, the offense is going to run smooth. He can run anything he can run to loosen up that defense like that. Harish said that's going to be really good. It's going to be tough, but we loosen them up. Levis Smith he's going to challenge us. We know that defense. We beat it in the Super Bowl. We know what they're going to do. So we gotta. I'm not saying it's a big game because next game, but we got that curse going. We got to win that week 1 game, so we can't just try to outsmart Lovie Smith. Just play our game. We got a veteran quarterback, 15 years in the league. Make him comfortable back there. You might have to hand it off. You might have to run. Might have to dink and dunk to get him going. But get the run game started first.
Yeah, and I think it's honestly like both of you guys said. It's just like when Austin, you said Matt Ryan, and then Josh, when you just saying Jonathan Taylor. It's really just it's gonna come down to tempo. Like it's just like going into this game, it's just like you have to control the tempo because that Matt Ryan can absolutely get the ball downfield. And the thing is, in one of the comments, the key is if Paris Campbell can't use his speed down the middle of the field. Okay, then yeah, because the thing is, we saw that happen last year. Now, just imagine Paris Campbell had the one touchdown, and then he wasn't able to play the rest of the game. So just imagine if he stays in the game. Now you have to worry about him going downfield, but then you also have to worry about Jonathan Taylor. And honestly, it's just like Jonathan, like you're going to have to defend in the box to keep Jonathan Taylor honest because at the end of the day, it's just like he's dynamic. Like he just came off an 1,800 rushing yard season, and you mean to tell me that you're only going to put 4, maybe 5 in the box for him? You don't do that. It's just like we know how this defense looks. We know how this Tampa 2 defense looks.
Yeah.
We know how these teams are, so we know exactly what to expect. So the best thing that you can do in that is, show them that, you have the speed, that you have these guys. It's just like I think other than Stingley, there's maybe a couple guys who can match up height-wise with, the players that we have. But, I mean, you have Mo Alley Cox, you have Jelani Woods, Granson, and then you have who you have at wide receiver where Paris Campbell is our shortest receiver at 6 foot.
Yeah, even Ashton with 6'1",
Ashton Dulin 6'2".
Yeah, and fast.
Yeah. So I mean, we have the speed, we have the size for them to be able to really get out there and do what they need to do. But it's really just going to be about controlling the tempo of the game. Because the less that you put the ball in Houston's hands, the more likely they are to go ahead and try to force points. And the more points you try to force, the more likely you are to make mistakes.
Right. That makes sense too. Yeah.
So we'll definitely be able to control tempo now. Keys on defense, because I think this is important, especially since we have kind of like a new defensive look. Like the one thing with the offense is that we know that depending on who we have at quarterback, that determines exactly how much of the field we use. Phillip Rivers, we used a lot of the field, but we saw like there was a lot of checkdowns, a lot of throws to the tight end. With Carson Wentz, we had a lot of variety in plays, but he primarily wanted to get the long ball. But now you have Matt Ryan who can hit on pretty much anywhere on the field. And now you're going to have to, like I said, it's just like you're going to have to focus on certain things. Now, like defensively, you have Gus Bradley coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that there's going to be more emphasis on the pass rush, more emphasis on having more guys in the box. But what are going to be the keys on defense? Because also, I saw there was a tweet from Derek Larger. We had him on here from the Bring the Juice podcast. How's it going out there, Derek? That Nick Cross is on the unofficial depth chart. Nick Cross is starting at strong safety.
Yes, that is true. I'm excited.
So Josh, so then with that being the case, what are the keys on defense against a team like Houston?
Create turnovers, pressure the quarterback. This is his first full season as a starter, so give him different looks.
Yeah,
pressure him at all angles, up the middle, on the side. And we got the guys. I mean, for the first time in some years, I feel comfortable with our pass rush with Pay and Yannick. I feel really good about that, getting to the quarterback, and it makes Defoe's job a lot easier. And Grover Stewart stop the run. Like I said, they got a good running back. They got Rex Burkhead. He's a veteran guy. But they got a good running back. We're gonna sit out of Pierce early on. They're gonna test our run game and test our new defense. So stop the run, get some pressure, and turn the ball over. I mean, we did it last year when I think Taylor was scrambling to his right, and he threw a pick to Kenny Moore on the sideline. Get those turnovers.
No.
I mean, we got the cornerbacks. We got Gilly. We got Isaiah. We got Kenny Moore. We got Piason. I said his name.
For season.
These names.
We know who he is.
Yeah, these names. And then we got all the guys. We got the safety. We got Blackman back. We got Rodney. Unfortunately, he's not starting, but it's kind of hard to hold back Nick Cross. The guy has been balling. Let the man go out. He'll be 21 Saturday. He's gonna be 21, and he's starting his first game on Sunday, the very next day. So he's gonna be pumped up, ready to prove himself that, hey, you guys made a great decision of trading up to get me. Then you have the veteran safety retire, and you trust me to start and make plays in your defense.
Yeah.
So get pressure, stop the run, get pressure, and create turnovers. We did it last year. We were second, tied with Dallas in turnovers. So continue making those turnovers. Get those turnovers, and get the ball back to Matt Ryan, and so he can keep cooking on offense. No pun intended, Austin.
What about you, Austin? What are going to be some of the keys on defense?
All right, so I have another player. Speaking of Nick Cross, I'm going to say he's going to be a big part because he had such a good preseason, good training camp. So it's just important that it carries over to the regular season when it counts.
Yeah.
So I pick him as a big part of this defense to do what we need to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you said who's that?
Nick Cross.
Okay. Yep. Nick Cross is absolutely. I think he's going to be as impactful, if not more impactful, than how we know Julian Blackman was coming into his rookie year. Like how the game versus the Minnesota Vikings was like the game where he arrived. Like he literally just came in and he was making the tackles. He was forcing incompletions. I think he got a pick in that game too. I mean, when we're talking about how these teams look or how they're supposed to be, it's just to have youth at a position, it's kind of tough at times. But the thing is, it's just when you have youth that knows how to fly and exactly knows how to move, I think that's another big thing. Because I think, and Nick Cross is going to be a big factor. But honestly, I think it's just going to be those outside edge guys.
Yeah.
I think Ngakoue and Pay, if they can generate the type of pressure they have on the outside, then Buckner's job is going to be easy. Grover Stewart's job is going to be easy because that they're going to be able to make sure that they disrupt the middle. And this is against a Texans team that still right now doesn't really have a strong look on that offensive line. You still have Tunsil, yeah. And I think it's just at the right tackle position. I forget the guy's name, but he's actually been pretty decent. But it's just that interior line actually is still questionable. At least
is Titus still there?
I think so. I want to say I think so, but I'm not completely sure. And we're talking about Titus Howard, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, I think right now I don't have that much faith in Houston's interior line, but if you generate the amount of pressure that you need, it's going to be much easier, which I think is going to be a big break, especially for us, because I don't think that we're bad on defense, but I just think it's just we can definitely stand to make our jobs a lot easier if we, implement or put people in the right positions. Because like I said, Ngakoue is going to be able to come in, and Ngakoue knows the Texans. Ngakoue, even though he's been removed from the Jags for a few years, he's very familiar with the AFC or the AFC South and exactly what they have to offer. So, like I said, I think that those are important things, at least to me. But like I said, I think when we're talking about anything with these defenses or anything when it comes to how we need to go, I think is honestly just going to be generating the most pressure that we can and forcing them to make turnovers.
We got the guys.
Yeah.
Didn't Isaiah get a turnover against the Texans last year? I think he was covering Brandon Cooks or somebody. It was an excellent pick. He turned
I
around.
think so.
It was
Yeah,
an
because
injury.
I think he'd gotten beat on one play, and then I think he came back the next drive, and then he got a pick because
Yeah,
they
it
were
was.
just playing. He was playing man to man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Now, so with that being said, who will be the most important player / group in this game? So when I say player, it's just like you could pick an individual player, you could pick a whole entire group. Let's just say like the D line, linebacking core, O line, whichever one you make. Now the thing is, it's not one that it's just like you just have to have one or the other. You can have something that you believe is the most important player and a group that you feel is going to be the most important going into this game. But which one do we feel is the most important on those, Austin?
I think the most important group is the D line. Like
Okay.
y'all have mentioned before, getting pressure on the quarterback or stopping the run game is huge whenever you're trying to force turnovers. If we pressure Davis Mills, we're gonna get in his head, and he's not gonna
Yeah.
be as accurate. He's not gonna make big plays, like, especially if we get there early. He can't make big plays.
Yeah.
So the D line is definitely, in my opinion,
Okay.
the most important group.
All right. All right. I like that. What about you, Josh?
O-line. It's gonna be
Okay.
the most important because we got a new left tackle and right guard. So got a new group again for another year. So it's gonna be tested. It's gonna be battle tested with their D line on what
Yeah.
we can do because we didn't see enough of that group in preseason. So it's gonna be a real life game and see how well they perform. I know you guys not fond of Pryor starting at left tackle, but I got confidence in him, man. I mean, Penner and right guard. I think this is going to be a decent group until Raymond comes in and starts at left tackle. But those are going to be the keys to the game.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. That's going to be the keys to the game to keep Matt Ryan standing up and not in the dirt.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm gonna say I think they're both important, but I think I'm gonna be with Austin on this one because the D line is going to be very, very crucial in how we go about, controlling this game. If the D line generates pressure, we're going to see a lot of 3 and outs, or potentially see a lot of turnovers. So that means that, our offense is going to be out on the field, but that also means that their defense is going to spend a lot of time out on the field. And if that defense isn't necessarily as strong as they need to be, then that means that we're going to see that we're going to be able to score a lot more than, what we can possibly imagine. And then, like I said, their defense is going to get gas trying to keep up with Jonathan Taylor, trying to keep up with Hines out the backfield in the run and in the receiving game, and then also keeping up with the receivers and the tight ends. So I think the D line is definitely has a chance to make a statement. It's really just going to be about making sure that you just start off making that statement early.
Yeah, once they start early and set the tone, it's gonna be a long game for Houston.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so, lastly, and then like I said, we're going to be out of here because like I said, we try not to hold the people up. Okay, we know that you want to eat snacks, chill out before you go to bed, get ready for work in the morning. But really quickly, who from the Texans can we not afford to overlook?
I'll say the running back, Pierce. We can't overlook him. Last year they didn't have a running game, even with Johnson being washed up. They didn't have a running game, but now they feel very comfortable in their running back room, and he's going to be leading the room. So we can't overlook him. Yeah, we did that. Like I said, like it mentioned Aaron Foster. What's the other guy that was from Miami that beat us pretty bad a couple years ago?
From Miami?
Yeah, he came. He was their running back from Miami. They beat it pretty good. I think we was up like 14 points, and they came back.
Oh God, I forgot his name. I know who you're talking about, but I forgot his name.
Lonnie or something like that. I can't even something, but yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I just don't know the name. But yep, Lamar Miller.
Yes, Lamar Miller, who was supposed to be a bust, but he came to Houston and turned it around, and especially against us. He just I don't know about those games. He always ran well versus us, so you can't overlook their running game. You can't overlook him. So yeah, I would say him. Yeah, you can't afford to overlook him.
Okay.
Or Brandon Cooks.
Okay. All right. And then what about you, Austin? Who do you think that we
Yeah.
can't afford to overlook?
Yeah, I was gonna say Brandon Cooks. He's obviously one of the top receivers in the AFC South. He's been good even with bad quarterbacks. We know what he can do. We've faced him multiple times. He's a solid wide receiver. So our cornerbacks and safeties need to always know where he is on the field, and just hope that our D line gets pressured to where he can't make as big of an impact as he could.
Okay. All right. I think I'm also going to once again agree with you. Brandon Cooks. I think that he's a player that doesn't get the respect that he deserves because I mean this is a guy who's had multiple 1,000-yard seasons and yet he's never mentioned in the top 10, much less top 15 amongst anybody. And I think it's because of the fact that he plays in this Houston market that really that gets overlooked a lot because you don't have that star power out there anymore. I mean, outside of Brandon Cooks, who out there is really like a major name, and I don't mean that as an insult, but I mean that as like, you don't have household names out there.
Well, there too is that not too many small receivers are being outside of Tyreek Hill is getting recognition. It's not that many. All the receivers that are top 10 or tall, and he's pretty small. He's good, like you said, but he's small. T.Y. Hilton get those recognition, and he led the league in receiving yards.
Yeah, he definitely did.
And
he definitely did. So yep.
And he was small, so it just that small receivers don't get the credit. Like I said, Tyreek Hill's the only one because he's fast and he can do a lot of things in that offense with the ball in his hand. So you also have to catch and all that. Brandon Cooks, like you said, he's very talented. Just like you said, been in Houston, he didn't get recognition even in L.A. or even with the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots or even in New Orleans.
Or New Orleans.
I just remember he was just traded and that was it.
So
that's gonna be kind of tough. But the thing is, like I said, if you can stop Brandon Cooks, then I mean, I'm gonna say it's just like that would be amazing. Like that would be your best bet because that's gonna be the best way to make sure that you slow down that offense significantly.
So who would defend him?
Personally, I think you could put somebody like Isaiah Rodgers on him. If you don't put Isaiah Rodgers on him, then I think
it can't be Gilmore.
Well, no. So the thing is, I think you would put Gilmore on him because Gilmore is actually a lot better in the press. And I mean, if you can press Brandon Cooks off the line, then that means that ultimately it's just like he's going to have to use his speed. Where I think Gilmore can go and keep up with him. So. And then
I was looking at height.
Sam, Sam says I heart Jalen Ramsey.
Oh.
Yeah, Sam says I heart Jalen Ramsey. So hey Sam, Jalen Ramsey hearts you too.
Well, I don't know.
All right. But yeah, so like I said, but this game, so then what do we have in terms of score predictions? What do you have, Josh, for your score?
I don't. I was just saying 2-score game. It can be 21-7. I mean, it's 2-score game. So,
yeah.
I mean, they're gonna be a good team. It's just that this is not the year for them to be the team they want to be 2-3 years from now. It's not gonna be the year that they do that. They're gonna be competitive. It's just that we're a win now team. And so, we have a curse to break. So, sorry, it has to be them. So, 2 scores, 3 scores, is in a likelihood. We're not going to beat them like we did last year. It was pretty bad. So, I don't see a 31-0 or 31-3. I don't see that this year.
Yeah, I'm going to say I see maybe like a 31-17. But what about you, Austin? What do you see? What do we think?
Yeah, I had 31-13.
31, 13? Okay. So I'm being the most generous.
I know I'm being the most generous. I said 21-7.
What's a bold prediction for the season for y'all?
Bold prediction for the season?
Yeah.
Nick Cross wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Uh-oh.
Don't drop your phones or anything. Ben Bandicoot 8 sacks.
What? First of all, he has to play in order for that to happen.
No, it's not bold, but I do see Yannick having double-digit sacks again. At least 10, maybe 12.
Okay,
it's not bold, but he's been that guy. But I give 10 to 12 sacks. Yannick.
Okay.
I also went the sack route. I got Kwity Paye getting 12.5 at least sacks.
Okay.
Would it be nice for those guys to have that amount on each side?
That would be nice.
Listen, if they can generate 25 between the two of them, I'm all for that. All right, let's just be honest. That'll be amazing.
They're from the same country too, so yeah, that'd be yeah. They would love it.
But like I said, I think we've come to the end of the podcast. However, I did need to speak about it now because I didn't speak about it in the very beginning. Sam, Matt, my bad people. But AFC South fan battle. And all of us here, whether it's You Know Jack podcast, which is the Colts fan battle, Texans fan battle, the Jaguar, which is the Jags podcast, it's centered around the Jacksonville Jaguars, meth in the city of Jacksonville, basically just kind of covering all that. We're now I'm not going to say partnership. I'm going to say sponsored by Manscaped. So Manscaped, they help with all the male grooming, helping with, making sure that, up here is good, making sure down here is even better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, CC Sam.
Yeah, exactly. Because apparently Sam has balls. But I mean, it's a thing, I guess. But hey, listen, you go to manscaped.com, whether you're using it now already or you were interested in trying it out, seeing what it's all about, you can actually go on to manscaped.com. And we're the plug. You call us the plug, okay? Just remember that you got it from here and here only, okay? You make sure that you go to manscaped.com, and if you use the code FANBATTLE, so it's going to be fan battle, all one word, all capital, FANBATTLE. There's 2 T's in battle for those who are vocabularily inept. I'm not going to say that's you guys, but I'm going to say that's probably in the place where the mayo is a little bit more rampant, like Tennessee. Yeah. But basically, if you go on to manscaped.com, you use that fan battle code, not only will you get 20% off, but you also get free shipping on your order.
Yes.
So yes, make sure that you go on manscaped.com. And hey, if the people at Manscaped are looking at this, I think I coined a great slogan yesterday, okay? I think I coined a great slogan, all right? You ready, guys?
Go ahead.
Hey, listen, life is rough, but it doesn't mean your balls have to be. Listen.
No balls.
Just sign me now, okay? Just sign me now. Just go ahead. Let's do this. All right? A brand ambassador, okay? I does this. But just make sure you go to manscaped.com and you use code FANBATTLE. So you use that code on there. If you're listening, make sure it's FANBATTLE, no spaces. Like I said, they have a plethora of products. They have the shaving creams, they have the trimmers, they have everything that you need for all your grooming needs. It's just like, and I know ladies, you're gonna try to use it, that's fine. It's not meant just for balls, but apparently Sam has balls and she's gonna need to shave hers. So we look, it's just like everybody's incorporated here, okay? That's fine. All right, but other than that, guys, where can the people find you on social media?
You could find me on Twitter at CookieAustin2.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Josh, where can the people find you on social media?
You got a lot of growth, man. A lot of growth. I appreciate you in your growth for the last few weeks.
Listen, I've been trying, man. Okay, I'm out here. I'm out here trying to do the Lord's work under much duress.
And Mayo.
And not over here. Not over here. Yeah, I can't just be. I just can't be taking a jar of mayo and taking a tablespoon and going to town because that's just nasty. that's just nasty.
You guys can find me on Twitter at I am Josh Senior.
All right, fantastic. And you can find me at CJ Colts fan. And also make sure that you are subscribing, following, going on there on at YDKJAC podcast, at YDK basketball, at YDKJAC baseball. This way you can keep up with all the guys, making sure that we're tweeting out. If you have any questions, anything that you need, that's fine. And then also make sure that you take a look because we're always looking to do some new giveaways, some new things. Might try to do some stuff coming up, but we'll see. We'll see. But in the meantime, people, hey, listen, stay safe. Hope you have a happy Labor Day. And yeah, week 1 is here. Enjoy yourselves. Drink a lot as long as it's not hard seltzer because that's what Sam and Matt like to drink. So it's just like that. That's yeah. I will never judge you if you have a hard seltzer in your hand, but if you have 2, I'm gonna look at you differently. Let's just be honest. But everybody have a great night. Enjoy week 1, and we will see you next week.